All right, here we are. If you weren't sick of us yesterday, you will be today. Hello, let's welcome here to the Sunday edition of Tinkle Sports Talk. We're back on all platforms today, and of course, today we're going to discuss. We actually got a new segment for you. We'll tell you more in a few minutes. But anyway, we're going to talk Urban Meyer, Steph Curry, as mentioned. We got a good tinkle on this for this Sunday, but we started off, of course, with Urban Meyer. He was fired by the Jaguars this week. So the report came out from Adam Schefter that former kicker Josh Lambo was kicked in the leg while practicing field goals, and he kept missing them. So Urban Meyer went up to him and said, make your fucking field goals. Josh Lambo said, don't ever kick me again. And Urban Meyer rumored to have said, I'm the coach. I'll do whatever the fuck I want. So, I guess, has this tarnished his legacy? Of course, he is a national champion. I think that's the obvious thing. And then, of course, the other question here is now, based on his tenure in Jacksonville, should we really be opening Pandora's box with Florida and OSU?
Yeah, I think so, because you don't know if he did the same thing as a college coach at all. So, yes, I would like to see something legal-wise be done. Maybe with the college kids kind of like, oh, well, he kind of did the same thing to us here as well, even though we were winning. So, then again, I don't know how much of it is like him being a poor sport, and then how much of it is, was he always like that from the get-go?
You're right. But here's the thing. College to pros in the NFL is a very tricky transition. Of course, the games are two totally different games in terms of tempo, in terms of formations, in terms of plays sometimes. But this no doubt put a stain on Urban Meyer's already rocky legacy. And, they should investigate what happened at OSU. Now, I don't know if anything happened at Ohio State, let alone Florida, but I propose this question because, again, this tenure in Jacksonville seems abnormal. It seems very abnormal for a guy who was arguably one of the most successful college coaches. And, maybe if they do an investigation and it turns out, hey, he didn't act this way when he coached in college, at the very least, you can say, well, what went wrong here? What went wrong? Did he think because he went to the pros he needed to be more of a hard ass because he's dealing with professional egos as opposed to college egos? Or did he just, like I said, I mean, that's my only question. That's my only explanation for this. I mean, I just don't know what happened here. But I will tell you that this is embarrassing for a coach. This kind of story is embarrassing. Okay, and again, I'm no college coach, but I am a coach myself. And these kinds of stories, I don't care what level you coach at. This is not acceptable behavior. This is not acceptable ethical behavior by a coach at a professional or amateur level. So, this will certainly hurt. I don't like talking about cancel here, but he's basically done. His life is over at this point. So, anyway, let's move on. So we got our new segment here, and we are calling it the Tinkle Rundown for now. Of course, it will get a new name in the future, but essentially because we only have an hour time slot, so I'm going to explain it real quick. So we only have an hour time slot here on Tinkle Sports and Entertainment for this show. So we feel it's important to cover stories that we normally don't get to cover, or we have to pick and choose. So it's essentially a smorgasbord of stories that the three of us picked out. It's kind of like our weekly recap for the NFL. We're picking out 3 of the top stories that we liked from the previous week, and we are going to talk about them and kind of go in depth about our solutions here. So I started with the recap you started with the recap on Saturday, so I will start with the Tinkle Rundown here. So real quick, I'm gonna start with NCAA basketball. I have said for 3 straight weeks since the season started, it was unbelievable and terrible that Baylor was not ranked number 1 in college basketball. They came out, they were winning games by 20, 30, 25, I believe. They won big in every game to start the season. Something that has not been done since the Florida Gators went back-to-back in, I believe, 06 and 07. Okay, how are they not starting out ranked number 1? Oh, wait, because they have a love affair with Mark Few in the Associated Press. So Baylor deserves nothing more than to be ranked number 1, and it was long overdue. That's what I'm going to say. And don't be shocked when they're a number 1 seed come March when we're talking March Madness. There's a reason this team won the title by a big margin last year. So,
right.
All right, so then I'm going to go on to my second point here, I guess, since I know you don't watch much college basketball, so you probably don't have much to say on that.
No.
But here's one you might want to be talking, or here's one you might weigh in on here. Kenny Pickett, you are making a huge mistake missing the final bowl game of your life because you plan to work out to potentially be a top 10 quarterback. Let me just state one thing. This class is not known for quarterbacks, and it never will be. This is another E.J. Manuel, Geno Smith type of quarterback class coming up, and I will take it to the books right now. I will take it to Vegas that this quarterback class will be nowhere near flashy, nowhere near brilliant enough to survive in the NFL. This is another E.J. Manuel, Geno Smith type draft class where we're going to be lucky to see any big talent. And Kenny Pickett, I know he wants to preserve himself, but play for your team, damn it, okay? You played 4 years, you deserve to go out with a bang. And this is a huge letdown because now you're not playing for a trophy here.
Oh, I know. Well, the thing is, you should never skip possibly the most important game of your college career. I get it. You're looking for bigger, better things, but that's gonna come in time. You still have the draft combine, then you have pro days. You don't need to be working out for the draft right now. You should be focused on still dealing with your college career because, you most likely will get drafted, but you don't need to be putting in all that effort for something like that when it's still it's still over a year away. Well, actually not over a year away, but it's next year. I mean, it's a couple months away, so there's still some time to prepare for it, and right now is definitely not the time for something like that to be prepared for.
Yeah. And I will say this. How is this any different from when Le'Veon Bell sat out that whole year? How is it any different from when Melvin Gordon sat out, I believe, the first 5 or 6 games when he was in a contract year? How is this any different? It benefits nobody. Okay, so you're going to give up valuable reps to go work out? It's ridiculous. I didn't like it either when Nick Bosa did it. Sorry. So, that's just all I'm going to say on that. It's just frustrating to see them go for greed instead of for glory. Especially when they may never have a good pro career. Which, I'm not saying Kenny Pickett can't, but I'm saying the likelihood is he's probably not... This quarterback class probably won't survive very well. So...
Right. You're probably right.
But yeah, so then my third point, John Orand of the Sports Business Journal, he released an article earlier this week about his predictions in the media coming up for 2022 and beyond. And I found a few things pretty interesting from this. You'll like a few of them. First off, though, I want to start with the big one. Of course, we don't have Out of Turn 4 right now, so I do want to bring this one up on here for our Out of Turn 4 people that might be watching. ESPN is rumored to be making a pitch to take NASCAR back from NBC. Fox is rumored to stay on because Fox likes their current package, even though they really haven't put in much effort to get better. But ESPN rumored to enter the foray for NASCAR. They are rumored to replace NBC in a few years when the TV deals expire. Usually, of course, with NASCAR, they announce their deals a year out. So this could potentially make them the home of motorsports, because it is also rumored by John Orand that they will retain F1 rights as well. Now, F1 and NASCAR, for those who don't know much about motorsports, they are if there's a pyramid of motorsports, F1 and NASCAR are at the top. No doubt. On a global scale, on a national scale, they're number one at the top. So, I don't know. For ESPN to want the rights, it's interesting considering they didn't quite go out on the best terms, but it would be a homecoming because, of course, the wide world of sports is what got motorsports its coverage, of course. It was huge back in the day. But anyway, and of course, Speed World. But then, here's the next big part of it. Amazon would buy out the NFL Network and a 50% stake in league properties, with Disney, likely ESPN Plus, and DirecTV getting the Sunday ticket package, which would be huge for us non-DirecTV folk. Okay? If ESPN Plus can get the rights to Sunday ticket, I think it would be smart for a few of us to invest in that.
Yeah.
Now, of course, you and I have discussed in the past how we want DirecTV to lose the rights.
Oh, yeah. No, they should.
Yeah. Okay, can I just add to this as well? NBA has NBA TV, and you can purchase a certain team's games for the whole year. Am I wrong on that? Because you watch the NBA more than I do.
Only for League Pass, not for NBA TV.
Or yeah, NBA League Pass. That's it. MLB, I believe you're allowed to purchase your team's games. So why not the NFL if ESPN and Disney get the rights to the football package? Not to mention, ESPN Plus is incredible. Every review I've heard on it has been pretty good. So I think it would be a good pairing. Especially because...
Yeah, I mean...
But it's rumored, though, Amazon might not be in the pursuit of it, which is surprising because Amazon has enough money to overtake DirecTV completely for the exclusive rights to Sunday Ticket. So, I guess that's a waiting game. Of course, I believe Sunday Ticket is up for renewal this year, if I'm not mistaken. The other big thing, of course, the SEC would leave CBS a year early and join ESPN next year. That's, of course, already known, but it wouldn't shock me because CBS is going to get the Big Ten package. And then, of course, here's another big bombshell. Of course, we've talked about Al Michaels on this network a few times this football season. John Oren believes that Al Michaels and Drew Brees will be the face of Thursday Night Football. And get ready, Jason, because you're going to love this booth here, or this pregame show. Tony Gonzalez, Marshawn Lynch, and Phillip Rivers. Can I just say shocking to say the least if that's the studio?
Because, I mean, and all three are very knowledgeable guys of the game, so why not?
But three totally different personalities. Tony Gonzalez is this polished professional now. Phillip Rivers is this trash-talking, but, Christian guy. Now, this one doesn't make sense because Phillip Rivers, of course, coaches his son's team, or he coaches a high school team. So that's the only part of it that doesn't make any sense, what would happen at the beginning of the year. But, I guess that'd all be worked out. And then Marshawn Lynch, this would actually be good for personality because he can be kind of that Charles Barkley presence in the NFL, dare I say it. Because, let's face it, you and I both know, and all the viewers know, Marshawn Lynch he doesn't give a shit who he's talking to.
No.
Okay, and I think he'd bring that to cameras, and it would be great, because he'd be kind of that Barkley of, I don't give a shit, I'm going to tell it like it is, if you don't like it, don't watch.
That's true.
So
Marshawn has always been like that, even as a player.
Yeah, I'm intrigued. Now, can they get Snoop Dogg too? Because if they had Snoop Dogg, this could be good. Snoop Dogg and Marshawn Lynch. Now that would be a pairing, or Snoop Dogg and Kevin Hart, whichever you want. But, all right, but that's my Tinkle Rundown for the week. I'm gonna let you take your snag at it here.
Oh, yeah. We got a player that's actually back in the NBA for like the umpteenth effing time. Isaiah Thomas is back with the Lakers as Russell Westbrook is on health and safety protocols.
It's really a shame how Isaiah Thomas has fallen out of the league. Really a shame.
I know. It is a shame because every time he's come back, he's put up great numbers, and then he just gets forgotten about.
Yeah. He's kind of that guy who doesn't get enough recognition for everything he does.
I mean, when he was with the Nuggets, did good. I think he had a short little stint with the Wizards or something like that. Did fantastic. He had a great tenure in Boston. He had a decent tenure in LA. Just, he doesn't get enough credit. I'm hoping that this will lead to him actually getting a roster spot. Not just like a short little 10-day contract with the Lakers until Russell Westbrook is back from COVID.
Yeah.
So it's nice to see him back. I'm all for it. But what I still find a little crazy NBA teams rosters, I think, are up to 15 players. If the Bulls were to play with most of their team with 10 players on COVID, would only have just one rotation of players for 40-something minutes of action. And that's not including overtimes either. So they had to postpone some games until they get back from health and safety protocols. I just want to know if that's going to damper the Bulls' success or momentum because of that.
Steps up, flush to his right, pump fake.
The Bulls have been looking pretty hot this year. After hearing that, do you think the Bulls just might not have that momentum like they did?
Anytime you're on a hot streak and you kind of catch a break at the wrong time, it's always bound to do something to your momentum. And, this is sort of like getting hosed down in a way. And I just wonder, though, I really do believe this is that kind of situation where it's really going to hose down Chicago.
Yeah.
I think it's going to knock them back a little. I wouldn't be shocked to see it happen.
It might. It just sucks that it had to happen to a good team. Moving forward, we've seen these two men fight in a boxing ring before. Well, shockingly, I didn't even think this was happening. They are going to go up against each other yet again in the most highly anticipated rematch. I don't think there's anything on the line. I don't think there's any bets or anything like that. Because the only way that Tyron Woodley was able to get a rematch was to get a "I love Jake Paul" tattoo or something like that on his arm, somewhere on his body. Well, Tyron Woodley lived up to the bet and tattooed Jake Paul's name. Now he is getting that rematch. Honestly, it'd be something if Tyron Woodley could actually beat Jake Paul.
Yeah, I think there's a big stake if he knocks him out, is what I heard.
But the thing is, too, how much of this is also Jake Paul pays off his opponents so then he can look good and actually get the victories, because his party will pay the other boxers for like $1 million or something like that. See, I don't like that. I don't like the whole, well, you're going to get $1 million just for boxing me.
Yeah.
Don't do it for money. Don't, promise any money. I think that's the only reason how he's able to get these guys to box him anyway in the first place. But
are you sure it's not the fact that he runs his mouth and thinks that he's better than everybody?
I mean, it could be that too, but money talks.
There's a reason Logan Paul went up in the ring against Floyd Mayweather and not Jake Paul, because Jake Paul knows for a fact he would have gotten his ass whipped in the ring.
True.
Okay. And the other thing was Jake Paul probably wanted it to go for record, which, frankly, if he lost it should have, but, it doesn't work that way. So, but of course, you also got something. I sent you this to add on to that there's an Adam Stern article that was released about his possible next fight.
Yeah, but the thing about it is we've seen Conor McGregor in the boxing ring before. They very well could set up the most anticipated boxing match out there. Jake Paul to possibly go up against Conor McGregor next year. But the thing is, yes, Conor has been there, done it with Floyd Money Mayweather. in a boxing match before. Conor McGregor has been able to do it. He's got a kickboxing background, so he knows how to go into the southpaw stance, which is this, the stance he's always using as a fighter, as a boxer. So I think he could be able to throw down and have a really good fight with Jake Paul. Probably be able to knock him out and shut him up. If there's anybody that can do it, it's the Irish C word that Jake Paul also likes to claim him as. And finally shut him up for good.
Yeah.
So,
see, if McGregor's smart here and he really wants to get in the ring with Jake Paul, I think I would actually contact Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao and those guys, and I would try to work on your form a little bit, because he struggled. I mean, he's too stiff to move around in the ring, and I would hate to see him lose the fight because he's too stiff. I mean, I think he has the potential to win that fight, but he's really got to put the work in this one. Okay, he's got to put in the work, and I think he can do it. But again, he has to work on his form, first and foremost, because that's what costed him the fight against Floyd Mayweather a few years ago. I mean...
yeah, I think so too.
Knockout, no knockout, whatever you want to call what happened in the ring last time. Because I think that was the big debate, right? So.
Yeah, I think so. I think there was a spot where he was dazed and looked like he was about to get knocked out, and then Tyron Woodley, held him up, got back in the fight. So, that's what I'm saying. Jake Paul has had instances. He's been knocked out before, just his opponent.
Oh, I was talking the Mayweather-McGregor fight, but yeah.
Oh, well.
Pretty sure that was the controversy.
It was a premature ending. McGregor actually wasn't... he still wanted to go, knew he could go, and then ended in some controversy. I'm shocked that those two men haven't wanted a rematch.
Yeah, Mayweather's a little old now for that. And he's in his mid-40s, but, certainly I think McGregor is past his prime, but he's not, ancient, obviously.
Yeah, true.
Like I said, if there's anyone that can make a run at Jake Paul, I think it's Conor McGregor, and it's got to happen next year. So, with that, we'll take our anchor break. When we come back, the new 3-Point King, and of course, again, we will have Tinkle on This. That's all coming your way in just about a minute when we return on your Sunday edition of Tinkle Sports Talk. Welcome back. The NBA has a new 3-Point King, and his name, a familiar one, is Steph Curry. He set the record by hitting 2 threes to open up the game against the Knicks. Jason, I guess, first off, your thoughts here.
It was pretty much given that he was going to break the record. I mean, the man is pretty much a walking 3-point machine.
Mm-hmm.
It sucks that it had to take a little bit longer for him to break it. But you know what? What better place to do it than the famous Madison Square Garden?
And it was also rumored that he wanted to be a Knick when he first came out in the draft here. So, I guess
it'd be something fitting if he was a Knick.
But
small town college kid goes to a big city. Big city, but not really a big city team. The Warriors wasn't really that big city, that big field team, because if you think about California, you ultimately automatically assume
Hmm.
the Lakers. Like,
Yeah.
Lakers are that California team.
Hmm.
Steph Curry, who came from a small town college, put Davison on the map. He honestly also put the Warriors on the map as being that, like, California has quite a lot of teams in the NBA. I mean, they have the Lakers, the Clippers, the Warriors, the Kings.
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
But congrats, Steph Curry. Well deserved. I'm glad that Ray Allen was there to
Yeah, and Reggie Miller too.
give him. I was so happy that Ray Allen was there to be able to hug Steph Curry, the passing of the torch.
For me, it's always going to be a what could have been, I guess. I mean, Ray Allen, let's face it, he retired, probably could have played another year or two. Now granted, the record was going to get broken. But what I'm saying is, would it have happened had he continued playing? Or this soon, rather. Maybe not. Maybe in like a few weeks it would have happened. Or in another year or two. But it was going to happen eventually. Steph Curry, as much as I want to argue about the Warriors and whatnot, Steph Curry has worked very hard to become this 3-point king. And he's going to be the king probably as long as you and I both live. At this point.
Yeah, I mean he had to have 2,974 and counting, so...
Yeah, and here's the thing. He's still got at least another 10 years left in him. Probably.
Yeah, because I think he's in his 12th year now.
Yeah, so
he entered the league in 2009, so he's got about...
He's going to be around just a little while longer. So this record could become unobtainable. Dare I say?
That's what they're already half expecting it. But it'll probably not ever get broken now that Steph Curry is the true king.
Here's the thing: when the world ends as we know it, Steph Curry will be top 3 at the very least, and he's gonna go down as the greatest to do it. As far as the 3-point shooting goes. Now, is he the greatest in the game, like some analysts might say? I don't think so. It's still LeBron's league until LeBron steps down or steps away. Okay. But Steph Curry, let me put it this way. Shooter shoot. Steph Curry is a shooter, and, there's a reason why he got this record, and he has more than earned it. So I want to say congratulations to him as well. I know I talk a lot of crap about Steph Curry and the Warriors, and I probably am going to be retracting it at the end of this year, but, congratulations to him. He has definitely earned his right to be called the 3-point king of the NBA. So, with that, we actually want to shift gears to his former teammate here on Tinkle On This week. Man, we had a short show. I'm shocked. But Skip Bayless, of course, was tweeting that Kevin Durant runs the league, basically typical Skip Bayless stuff. Anyone that's not LeBron, he will call the face of the league. And Kevin Durant saw the tweet about the praise toward him from Skip Bayless, and he simply retweeted, "I just don't like you, man." Okay. Ouch.
Oof.
Man. Skip, do you want some burn cream for that? Do you want to just take an L? I mean, Hell, I've been rejected to go on dates, but I have never had him come out and say, I just simply don't like you. I mean, you literally kissed his butt the entire night. And then he said, nah, I'm good. I don't need your praise. Like, shit.
Yeah, you can go ahead and be behind Shannon Sharp and just, talk almighty about your Cowboys. Keep my name out of your mouth.
Yeah. See, man, he just straight up, that's the rejection of all rejections. And for that, Skip Bayless, Tinkle on this week. So, here's the thing. We are now off. I'm sorry. We're done for this week. We're not off next week. We're going to be here on Christmas Day with your Saturday NFL edition. I know, rare. We're here on Christmas Day. We're actually going to do a show on a holiday.
I know, it's crazy.
So, one of the rare times we have to, because there is Saturday games. So, we will be back Saturday, Christmas Day, here on Tinkle Sports Entertainment. And then, of course, this show will be back next Sunday at 9 a.m., the day after Christmas. We promise you we won't hit the eggnog too much. So, anyway, we want to thank you all for watching, and we will see you next week when we return next weekend when we return for the Saturday NFL edition and Tinkle Sports Talk. Until then, goodbye, everyone.